Going to discuss about the payments domain because payments structure or a payments domain, whatever you can call, because there are different domains we have. One is on healthcare, retailing, banking, finance, insurance, supply chain. We have e-commerce. We have a lot of domains in industry. So role of a business analyst remains constant. So that hence I'm not getting into the basics of it because that part anyway you know. Now, you need to understand what payment structure and payments domain is all about. Earlier, in the beginning days, if you see, payments is part of banking and finances. This is all because this is a uh, bigger domain. Okay, because banking have many things. Last time even I told you, retail banking operations are one thing. Retail banking operations means whatever the day-to-day transactions we do in retail banking, something like taking some deposits at the same time providing different loans to the customers. This is all comes under the retail banking part.
Yeah.
Followed by this corporate banking. Corporate banking means whatever the banking services relating to exclusive only for the corporates by sending some letter of credits. Because let's say some company wants to buy some stock outside of the country. They have to provide some LOCs and all, letter of credits, letter of intent, everything they have to provide so that they can do their purchases much easier. That's all comes under the corporate banking, apart from the corporate deposits, etc. I'm talking about.
Mhm.
I'm making it simpler to you so that I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Third one about investment banking. Investment banking means uh, providing some investment banking advisory services on two major areas. One is about a company wants to go for an IPO, means public limited company. Normally, two kind of companies, private limited and second is public limited.
And what is IPO?
Let me come to that, right? So normally there are two companies. One is private limited company, second is a public limited company.
Mm.
Private limited company means private people will be there, right? So they are the directors and as well as managing directors. And whatever the fund management, everything do, or from their personal listing. Okay, profit and loss, everything is only for private limited company, and they are not responsible for anyone. Second is a public limited company. What is public limited company? I'll give you an example to you. For example, XYZ is a industry. They manufacture some late mission industry, or some, for example, they manufacture some components, some ICU, integrated chip components, everything they are manufacturing. Let me give you an example. Okay, they are into this industry for a very long time. Now the business is there for last 15-20 years. Now they want to expand their business to the next level. Means they want to increase their production capacity because they have seen very good demand for ICs and all, integrated chips and all, everything in electronics. So they wants to manufacture and they wants to set up different manufacture plants in future. That is part of their business strategy.
Okay.
Next, they wants to extend their services to the other areas. So it requires lot of investment is needed. They have a legacy for last 15, 20 years. They have a goodwill in their region, in their industry sector. Now they want to expand the services. They required some huge amount of funding is needed for the investment. What are the ways to get the funds? Either you can get some personal guaranteed funds from taking from hand loans and all everything from the people and private institutions. That is one way you do that.
Mhm.
What are the other ways? We can take some bank loans. Okay. But bank loans, short-term funds, everything are secured or unsecured loans. Whatever are we taking have some limitation. One point
Mhm.
in time, more than that, you don't get the funds. Yes or no? Right? For example,
Yes,
depends
yes.
on the financial statements of the company. Banks will provide or financial institutions provide to an extent possible loan. They don't give you the full extent. So
Yeah.
what is the other way now here? The other way is to acquire funds from outside, means from outside people, maybe from XYZ general people, public, I have to acquire the funds.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, this is against to the law because for your business expansion, any business is not authorized to gather from outside. Either you can take it as a what we call, you can take it as a loan. Okay, that is a different thing. But you, for a business expansion, you are not authorized to gather funds from outside people. How can you do that? This is possible only to make your company a public listing company, public limited. You can see some of the companies, XYZ company, public limited. You can see it, public limited company. When you make yourself as a public limited company, then you get a authorization to gather funds from the outside people. That's
Okay.
what generally, in simple terms, we call it as stocks. Stocks, right? So you buy some stocks and all everything. You do share market, right? So you purchase shares from some other company and all. How you're doing it? Because it's a public limited company.
Okay.
Now, if a company, if a manufacturing industry want to be a public limited company, they have to list their company in the stock market. From the Indian context, if you see, stock market will be of two things. One is BSE, second is NSE. Bombay Stock Exchange and National Stock Exchange. There are two different exchanges we have. One is Bombay Stock Exchange, second is a National Stock Exchange.
Okay. Okay.
Company has to list their company in that stock exchange. They have to be a part of that stock exchange so that they are authorized to gather funds from the public for their business expansion. And they are responsible. If you are gathering money from the public, you are responsible because you have to show all your financial statements, including your income, expenses, profit, loss, assets, and liabilities, stuff from time to time. Wherein we are responsible for the people if it's a public limited company. But
Yeah.
any enterprise to make themselves into a public limited company, directly it won't happen because there is a regulatory body which is called SEBI. From an Indian context, I'm saying this.
Acha.
Normally in US market, we call it as NASDAQ. Stock market called as NASDAQ. NASDAQ, NASDAQ.
Mm.
So
Okay.
in Indian context, if you see, generally we have a SEBI. SEBI stands for Stock Exchange Board of India. Do remember, I am talking about the banking structure as a whole. I'm not talking about the payment structure now yet.
I understand.
Stock
You're
exchange.
coming to that payment structure. Yeah, I
Later
understand.
on, I'll speak to you about it.
Ah,
Okay,
fine, fine.
because banking sector is very huge because
I
now we
understand.
have divided payments as separate. Okay,
Exactly.
now what is happening here? A bank company wants to become a part of it. So directly a person who is having a legacy of so and so years and all everything, they wants to become if they wants to become a part of a stock exchange and all, first of all they have to list their company in the stock exchange. Either
Yeah.
it can be a BSE or NSE, they have to listing the company. If you want to list the company, first of all you have to go for an IPO, which is called initial public offer. IPO,
Initial
initial
public
public
offer.
offer means I am so and so, my company is this. These are my credentials, these are my financials, this is my company business policy and all. You have to present this to the middlemen. Those companies are called investment banking companies. Investment banking, because there are
The
some
mid offers.
third party companies. You have to explain them. You have to explain them. This is my company. These are my credentials. These are my financials of my organization, and I am planning to raise funds to the through stock market for my business expansion. We have to provide some presentation to the investment banking companies. So if investment banking companies see that there is some lucrativeness in this business in future, not in now, maybe in future, because they are experts. Investment banking companies are individuals, or it can be companies. These people are experts to evaluate your financial position. They see the financial position of the company, since how long this company is there, what are their profits, what are their losses, what are their assets, what are their liabilities, okay, and what kind of business are they doing, to what extent this business has life in future, in long run. They see everything. They look after each and everything. Finally, what they do, finally, if they have accepted, they will process their IPO, means your status of IPO, into the stock market. There are different standards that are to be followed. That is a different thing. So what investment banking companies do? Investment banking companies will act as a middleman to make a particular company to listing in the IPO, initial public offer. Okay, they have to. For example, XYZ manufacturing industry. So they come up with some IPO, initial public offer they come up with. So for that, they have to evaluate the financial position of the company and how much fund these people wants to acquire. For example, these people have a budget of somewhere around, they wants to acquire public fund somewhere around 500 crores, for example. Okay.
Okay.
500 crores is what they're expecting from the fund which they wants to acquire from the stock market. So for that, what kind of strategy and what kind of analysis to be made, how this can be marketed to the people, right? So because, for example, you are a new investor, you want to buy an IPO, you should get the curiosity to buy it. Yes or no, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
that
Yeah.
because you are, for example, you are a aggressive and you are a regular investor in the stock market. So how do
Mm-hmm.
you buy IPO? You buy IPO based on the company, what their company fundamentals, because normally investments based on two things we do in stock market. One is fundamental analysis, second is a technical analysis. What is fundamental analysis? Fundamental analysis means fundamentals of the company. Because even though stock market, stock price is not so good now, if the fundamentals are strong, people invest in the stock market. Why? Because fundamentally that organization is very strong. They have that legacy so that you can invest. That's not a problem. Even though you are not getting funds now, your fund is not so good. In future, that share value will go up because that company is fundamentally strong. Second is
Mm-hmm.
technical analysis. Technical analysis means depends on the market conditions now. So what kind of stocks may boom in future? Based on that, you are investing money on the stock market. This is completely based on the risk. Okay. Sometimes
So
the
this is
money which you
something,
have invested
Raj. Uh, I just
may
have one
come down
question.
or go up, right? So that is,
Hmm.
you cannot guarantee on that. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Raj, I just have one question. So investment banking is doing this analysis, right?
They don't do that analysis. I'll come in there. I'll come there. Normally, that's how generally the investors will see. What I'm trying to say is that investors see. Because if a company wants to buy an IPO, initially you are coming new to the market. On what basis you will guide? For example, I'll make it very simple, boss. You have joined for the training for me. On what
Yeah,
basis you have joined? Based on the previous history of mine. Am I right?
exactly,
What is
exactly.
my previous history? Based on my videos which was posted in my channel. Am I right?
Based on the comments, yeah,
Based on the comments, etc., etc., etc. Yes, right. So
exactly.
based
Yes.
on that, you came to an assessment. Okay, this person is knowledgeable. This person
Yeah.
can give me a quality training. On that, you have
Ex-
end product, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
If there is no platform of this kind of sort, on what basis you do it,
Exactly, exactly. No,
right? So
no
IPO
basis.
is
Yeah, yeah,
also that.
definitely.
IPO is also that. For example, if you want to buy an IPO, for example, somewhere around 15,000 rupees of stocks you want to buy, on what basis you buy? Based on the previous
Based on the
history of
history.
the company.
Okay.
What exactly this company, how long this company is, what type of business they are doing, how
Hmm.
credible the company is. Based on that, they spend money. Yes or no? Right?
I
So
understand, but what I'm asking, what investment company is doing? It act as a mediocre in between IPO and
absolutely.
listed
Is
company.
they act as a bridge between stock market to company.
Okay. And
Because you are
investors?
into, for example, you are into electronics business. Okay.
Hmm.
What is
Hmm.
your experience? Your experience is to buy electronics products or sell electronics goods, right? That is your business. But to make yourself in the stock market, you are new, right? So you are a new player. There must be someone who acts as a middleman for you to do that. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right? So they have to create a curiosity among the investors. This company is so big, right? So this company is so strong, right? So if you spend somewhere around 15,000 now, your fund value will be appreciated in very less time. So that sort of curiosity someone has to create. Who can do that? For that, there are some expert investment advisory companies will work for. That's where we call it as investment banking companies. Understood?
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, they are creating in the environment. Okay.
They create an environment, they create a procedure, they create some standards. They have that expertise. They not
Okay.
only environment, they because for example, 500 crores you want to acquire fund from the outside.
Mhm.
If you want to acquire fund 500 crores and all, do your company has that real worth of it? Do you have the worth? Is this company have the worth and all? We have to see. So for that, what
Okay.
is the stock value? Face value, we call it as. हम बोलते हैं face value.
Okay.
Face
अच्छा
value of
अच्छा.
the, for example, stock. Stock price is 10 rupees. One lot. We call it as lot. One lot equal to, for example, 100 shares. 100 shares into 50, 10 rupees. How much it is? 10,000. Am I right? Yes or no? Right?
Yes, yes, yes.
10,000. So minimum stock, minimum one lot if you want to buy, minimum one lot it costs you 10,000 rupees. You
Okay.
cannot buy single stock because it's an IPO. Once your company is in IPO, once your company is listed in the stock market, people can buy even single share also.
Okay.
Understood? Clear? Abhinav, understood? Right or
Yeah,
not?
yeah, I'm clear. Investors are, I mean, investors
Investment
can buy as
companies.
in.
Investment
So,
companies are the experts and advisory companies. These people will work this company to become a stock listed company in the stock market.
uh,
That's what
if I
generally
talk about
investment
investor,
banking is doing.
Raj, if I talk about investors, so investors are the one who are buying the shares, right?
Individuals, you and me also investor.
Yes, yes,
For
yes, yes.
example, you have 10,000 rupees now, right? So you
Mm-hmm,
want to
mm-hmm,
invest in
mm-hmm.
the stock market. Some of your friend you went to you ask some of your friend for an advice. He said so and so company is good. Even fundamentally that company is strong. You invest, no problem. Even though your money is lesser now, in future it will increase. Okay. So being an investor, what you do, you invest in the stock market. Again, investing on the stock market by an individual for you, thinking perception matters. For example, somebody is doing intraday trading, aggressive investors. Intraday trading means morning you buy, evening you will sell. You are understanding? I mean,
Yeah,
clear?
yeah.
Right? Morning you buy, evening you sell. That kind of investor you are, for example. Some people they don't do day to day. Day to day means intraday. They don't do day to day. What they do, they simply invest on the stock fundamentals by seeing the fundamentals of the company. They invest. They keep on invest some amount X amount of money. That's it. No matter whether the share price will come down or come up, they don't buy. They don't bother. They simply invest on the stocks. Maybe in future over a period of time in long run, it will be increased. So it depends on the risk, what risk appetite, what an individual investor is taking. That depends on that, whether you want to become an intraday trader and if you want to, for example, you have a discipline where you want to spend 10,000 every month, I have to invest in stock market. That's it. Investment. You are seeing
Okay.
it as investment. And even though the prices are higher, you don't want to take it. You got the profit, you don't want to take. This is your mentality, maybe. Somebody's mentality, I want to invest 10,000 now in the morning and I want to get some profit by evening. That's how somebody's mentality. So it depends on the mentality, what kind of stocks people buy and all everything will be varied. Did you
Got
understand
it.
this? Clear?
Yes, yes.
That there are different people mentalities. I'm not getting into that. Okay. So investment banking companies, what they do, they will be helping you to invest in IPO. So that if you are a listed company, what will happen? You will get a legal authorization to collect from the people. For example, 500 crores you want to gather. Okay. So your IPO is started. Sometimes some IPOs fail, some IPOs will succeed. For
Mm-hmm.
example, 500 crores, right? So you may get only 300 crores. Sometimes you get 800 crores. Sometimes you get the equal amount as you expect 500 crores and all. That depends on the market condition. That depends on the strategy you built. That depends on the trust we have company, people have on the company. Various factors plays a vital role. This is all something which investment banking companies do. Next, they do mergers and acquisitions, the one of the area. Mergers and acquisitions means, for example, you want to buy a company. For example, you are in some trade of business you are doing and you want to acquire some company or you want to sell your company. There must be some expert people who will be doing that. That's where generally investment banking companies will be plays a vital role. So these are the services are there in banking. One is about retail services, retail banking. Second is a corporate banking. Third is an investment banking. Do you understand this? Clear? Yes or no?
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Now, coming back to the point. Then what is payment? Payment, nothing but simple. For example, you are, because earlier in the beginning days of the domains and all everything, I can say, I don't want to go into the deep of the history. Payments is an integral part of banking. For example, you go to the store, you buy some goods, right? A retail store you went, you buy some goods. What is the way you do? For example, you can pay through cash. That is one way
Yes.
of paying it. You are paying cash and you are getting the goods. Earlier, in the beginning days, if you see somewhere mid 90s, late 90s, even early millennium, early 2000s also, that was the situation. After slowly what happened, debit cards came. Debit card, what is debit card? You if you have an account, bank will give you a debit card. Debit card means your money will be there in your bank. But if you want to do transactions without cash, there is a debit card facility. So that as long as the cash is available in your account, your debit card will work. This is one way. Second, credit card scheme. What is credit card means? Based upon your credit history, they'll give you some credit limit somewhere around. For example, that card value is 3 lakh, for example. Okay, that till 3 lakhs you can buy, but make sure you have to repay it. That's called credit card. That is second option. Now, wallets. Nowadays, you can see wallet. All you can see GPay or PhonePay or Paytm, right? So different wallets came into picture nowadays. Airtel wallets, right? So different wallets came so that you can transfer your money to that wallet. Through that wallet, you can pay rewards and all everything. We get some points. That is all something blah blah blah. So earlier, if you whenever we had a transaction of paying cash and taking goods and all everything, there you don't see much requirements because there is no people, right? So directly you are paying cash and you are getting the goods. But
Yes.
slowly, what happened in the global market, online transactions have increased a lot.
Yes.
Means you are paying in different modes. You are
Ah,
paying through debit card. If you are purchasing something as an individual, you are giving a cash one way, or else you are giving the debit card, or else you are giving credit card, or else you are doing some online transaction, online banking through, or else you are paying through wallets and all. Or else nowadays you have a facility called BNPL. We call it as BNPL. BNPL means buy now, pay later. There is a
buy
facility.
now, pay later.
You can see some online kind of, right?
Ah,
You can pay now,
mhm.
and you can pay. You can repay based on your credit history. They will give you some. They'll give you some credit score, credit. Till that you can buy. You can buy. You can use that transaction and you can use it using that app and all. You can buy it and immediately within a short time you have to, whenever you have money, you can pay it. This is a concept called BNPL.
Got
So
it.
these are whatever I am mentioning you, these are all something domestic kind of, right? Whatever you
Ah,
see, it's called domestic payment structure. I'm
agree.
talking about payments now. Okay, please listen. Nowadays onwards, slowly we are moving into payments.
Yes.
Now, this payments usually is directly or indirectly connecting to the banking. Okay, yes or no, right?
Yes. Yes.
But what is happening over a period of time, there is no national payments, domestic,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
National, international payments. We have grown to a situation where we are doing some international transfers. For example, a student who is there in somewhere in outside of India for me, okay, he want to pay the money, right? So how do they pay? For example, a person is having his in Indian account, he can transfer money from that. That is one way of doing it. For example, a person is nowhere, is not an Indian, he is maybe in some other national, right? He want to pay money to me. How can they pay that money? So there are different way of procedures, something like Zoom Pay or Remitly or using some Western money union transfer or MoneyGram. In different ways, people can transfer money to me. Am I right? Yes, sir.
Yes. Correct.
Right? Being an individual, being a coach or a consultant or someone, whoever it is, right? For example, if it's a company, for example, if a company wants to buy some goods outside, for example, they were into some export and import business, or they are manufacturing some products here. They want to buy raw material. For the raw material, what they want to do, they want to buy some raw material from outside of the country. When you are going to that country, their currency value is different. Here, whatever the currency value we have is different. So what you have to do, you have to raise some funds and you have to get some letter of intents, etc. I will tell you later, okay, what exactly that was about. You have to get some letter of intents and all everything from your home branch. Go there, show it to the local branch so that you can do the trading officially. This is so there are a lot of payments happening nowadays. Either personal purposes you are paying some money to your friends or someone, or you are receiving money from your relatives or your friends, family, people, and all that. That is happening. Even in business wise, business especially trading wise also, we are transferring money for the financial business transactions, etc. So payments domain is something very larger. Okay, earlier it was not. Nowadays payment structure is something larger, either right from NTGS to RTGS transactions. For example, NEFT transaction. NEFT transaction you can do till 2 lakhs, you can do that. If you want to transfer money more than 2 lakhs Indian rupees,
IMPS.
you have to go for RTGS. RTGS means you have to go to the bank, fill the form, write down this RTGS form, and if you can pay money, for example, you want to pay your home loan. Okay, you
Mhm.
have some 10 lakhs money, right? So you want to pay it. So what you can do? Simply you can go to your home branch, write the RTGS form, give it to that, give your company, your home branch uh, home loan account number, write down there. Automatically, money will be transferred to your home loan account. Am I right, Abhinav? Clear or not?
Yes, yes, you're right. Yeah.
So there are different ways. What I'm trying to say, we have RTGS, we have NEFT, we have bank, we have cash transactions, we have debit card, credit card, wallets, BNPLs. These are all comes under the payments domain. Point number one. Whatever I have mentioned you so far, these are all I am talking about regular payment transactions, whatever we do. This is one area. Second is international payments. International payments means, for example, a corporate company wants to do some international transactions wherein they wants to send funds to international accounts. Normally, currency values are different. Here it is currency values different, their currency values are different. And that too, these money, whatever they transfers will be in very high volume transactions. So when there is a high volume transactions, what is required? There must be some encryption is needed. Means security is required for.
Gotcha.
You
Okay.
require more security. Am I right?
Mhm.
You require more security. So there is a process called SWIFT, SWIFT, SWIFT transaction processing. Through SWIFT
Okay.
processing, what we do, normally money will be transferred based on the code number, not on the amount. Okay, code number. Through code number, this money will be transferred. This is all because whatever the international trading we do, everything we do based on the SWIFT processing. This is one area. Second
It's a
area,
back-end process, right?
sorry.
It's a back-end process, right? Swift transaction.
Because
Yeah.
if a bank wants to send some international money to some other accounts, okay, some international transaction through SWIFT code, they can send money from your accounts. They can
So
send.
it's a back-end process. It's a
Back
back-end
end
process,
process.
right?
Yeah, yeah. This is all a back end process. You don't see it on the screen. In the back end
Mhm.
process, banking people do that. Okay, through
Mhm.
SWIFT code, they send the money to the companies. This is all comes under SWIFT processing. Next, European market have a different network, which is called SEPA, right? SEPA and all that. So they
Okay.
have
Okay.
different SEPA transactions they do, especially European market. Normally, European market means normally European countries, because if they wants to have a easiness of trading, what they do, they're all in one unite group. Okay, European market, European countries. Maybe let's say, for example, you have somewhere around 6 to 7 countries are there, right? So they're all what they do. They're all become one trade group. Trade group means whatever the transactions or the businesses they wants to do, everything they wants to do it to make it very easier for them. They have created a structure called SEPA. Understood?
Gotcha.
Clear, Abhinav, right or not?
No, no, no. Last thing I mean, I missed it. I mean, what you're talking about, the group of countries who
For
are opening the
example,
account. I mean,
European countries. How
uh,
many European countries we have? Roughly 7 to 8 countries. Yes, right?
28 countries we have in European Union.
Right. I'm just giving you not all the
Uh,
countries. For example, somewhere
Acha.
around 78 countries. These seven to
Okay.
eight countries wants to have more business transactions within that country. Their business, their payment structure,
Acha.
or the payments
With,
inflow,
okay.
outflow, everything they wants to make it something easier. Yes or no?
Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, right. So what they
Uh-huh.
do, they have created a structure called SEPA.
Acha.
They have created their own structure, which is called SEPA. SEPA is a
Acha.
structure which they have created because within their countries, if they wants to do the trading, business trading and all everything, they're using a network called SEPA network.